everyone, my name is Dana. Today we're going to be teaching Gunner a trick of which he's never actually learned yet. So, all you need is a marker. I'm going to use this paper plate, but you can use pretty much anything that's flat. The trick that we are teaching is place. So basically, I put this down, and whenever he puts his foot on it, he gets a treat. So I can try to guide him. Come on. Come on. Good place. And whenever he puts his feet on it, he gets a treat. So I'm gonna kind of just move it around, and I'm gonna time lapse the rest of it, so you get the general idea of the repetition. But once he kind of catches on, then I'm gonna move it farther away, so he has to travel a distance to place, and that's kind of the gist. Also, the treats I'm using today are carrot slices because they're low in calories. And yeah. Alright, so with that being said, I'll get into training.
So this is a trick I tried teaching Gunner years ago when I did competitions with him before COVID happened. And one thing I noticed was how much of a visual dog he is and how clingy he is. I made sure to throw in other tricks so that he wouldn't associate just the pattern with what he was supposed to be doing, because he tends to do things because of a pattern, not because he actually knows what it is. That's one thing I learned about him. And so because of that, I'd make sure to throw in tricks he does know, and then I'd go, hey, place, and then he had to put his foot on there. I wasn't super picky in the beginning with if he was consciously going, oh, I need to put my foot on the plate, or if he just happened to do so. But once he started catching on, I kept on making sure to move the plate around so that he wouldn't associate just one spot with where he was supposed to go. He'd associate the plate with where he was supposed to go. After he was consistently putting his foot on the plate, regardless of if he was doing it consciously or unconsciously, I started getting a little bit more nitpicky with rewarding him for putting his foot on the plate. It had to be completely on the plate with one of his front feet, and he could be sitting, but I prefer he's standing. So if he's doing a trick and his foot slipped onto the plate, I wouldn't reward him for that anymore. I had to, make sure he was kind of aware of what he was doing at this point. So you see how he laid down? I moved the plate and had him go and try the trick again, because I'm like, no laying down for this. Something that Gunner has always struggled with was doing something that involved not facing me at the end. He always has a habit of looking at me, like turning to face me whenever he does anything, which in some cases that's very good, but in a lot of cases that isn't very good. He's very codependent, and this is a good trick for teaching him to do tricks at a farther away distance and not right next to me. You can see when I moved the plate away a little bit how much I had to work to lure him with the treat to get him to turn away from me and put his foot on the plate. Like, see how much it takes for that? And he's kind of freestyling too. So once I moved it away, he pretty much forgot everything about it, and I had to reteach, which that's what happens a lot of times, and you just gotta roll with it. So I'm expecting this to take quite some time, so I'm gonna post this all as one video at the end of whenever I say he's learned it pretty well. But yeah, you can see sometimes he really actively goes to the plate, but then other times he goes right up to me and I have to lure him away from me, and he's like, oh no, I want to shake instead, and oh no, I want to do tricks where I'm close to you, instead of kind of give me personal space, which he isn't very good at sometimes. He does it for his own comfort. He's a very insecure dog. So you can see as I move the plate away, it definitely gets harder for Gunner because he is turning more and more away from me, which is quite difficult for him. This is by no means an easy trick that he is learning. But he did seem to kind of catch on a little bit towards the end. He was kind of getting it. It just was, he would have preferred to be right next to me. And that's kind of how it goes. a dog will kind of get the trick and then they'll not get the trick, and it kind of comes in waves where like, oh, this is really easy, oh, this is really difficult, oh, this is really easy, until they finally really understand what exactly you're asking from them. So you can see sometimes he goes to the plate right away, and other times I kind of have to lure him all the way to the plate, and that's okay. You have to be particular. Once they start catching on, you can't reward them for the accidents. You can only reward them for the conscious acts, and you can only reward them when they're doing what you ask them to. Like, see, he went for a shake, and like, that's really cute, but that's not what I'm asking, so I'm not going to give him a treat until I get what I'm asking for, so I don't confuse him. Day 2 had a lot of positives in it, but still a lot of other roadblocks that we encountered. Starting with the roadblocks, one of the issues that I noticed was that he'd get himself stuck, where he literally did not know what he was supposed to do. So I had to help him and move him and put him to where I wanted him to be so I could give him the reward, because in his brain, he was stuck. He was stuck. He was also really pushy. As you can tell, he did a lot of getting really close to me, even though the plate wasn't right next to me. So I had to kind of be like, no, you can't do that, and move him away and kind of guide him to the plate where he was supposed to be. But other than that, he did really well. He was really quick to putting his foot on the plate, much quicker than yesterday. And even though I didn't move the plate as far away, I did that on purpose because I really want him to just have go to the plate ingrained in his brain. I want it to be the plate, and then once he kind of gets it, then I'll start moving it farther away. But now that he has the gist, I want to perfect it close up before I start working far away. You can especially see now my lure is not as big as yesterday's. I'm still pointing and I have to kind of guide him sometimes, but in general it's not as big of a point, and I can kind of just tell him place, gunner place, and then always say good place, and then I toss the treat, get him to move, have him go back. He's definitely doing a lot better. Towards the end, I could really tell that he was really starting to get the gist, and I'd move the plate around a little bit, but I kept it close to me, but you can really see he's consciously putting his feet on the plate and is really knowing that's what I'm asking towards the end. It's just difficult for him when it's far away. As you can see, he knocked the plate farther away, so I didn't want to move it. I wanted him to go to the plate by himself, and obviously when he's laying down, no treats. The only exception is if the plate slides and then he lays down in the slide, but regardless, day 2 was really good. So this is technically training day 3, but in between day 2 and day 3, I had a very bad sinus migraine, so we did not do any training that day. Right off the bat, you can tell Gunner is very actively putting his feet on the plate, so I started redirecting him and having him fetch the treats in different directions for a change of pace, to see that it's not, oh, go that way and then go to the plate. It's you can be anywhere and go to the plate. And I can tell that he got a little confused when I changed up the direction, and also he struggled finding the treats when they were thrown in that area, so he was very perplexed, so I'd help him find the treats. But after a little while, he was really starting to get it, and he was going to the plate when it was close by. This day isn't as fast forward for that reason, because I want you guys to be able to see him, like, towards the end, how he actively puts his feet on the plate. And this is the day where he actually understands the concept of the plate being far away and going to it with minimal luring by me. So I'm really impressed by how much he remembered, especially with a break in between. This was by far the most productive day. I'd say I'm going to do 2 more training sessions of polishing, and then I'll show you the final result in regular speed. But yeah, I am so impressed with how he's done. Like, watch, he sidesteps to it. I mean, I had to point to it, but it's not like I had him move there like 100%. He literally shimmies there all by himself. And you can see he's still testing to make sure it's not just put his foot on anything, it's put his foot on the plate. So he'll test a little bit because he's still trying to get the hang of the trick, but he's really getting there. He just needs to learn to go to the plate, and also that it's put his feet only on the plate, not on anything. At one point you'll see, I think he tries to put his feet on the Pokemon card box, and he tries to put his feet on the sofa and on me. I'm like, no. Yeah, right here. He kind of backs into the wrong place, and he goes, oh, well, I'll just put my foot on that. That's close enough. And I'm like, when he does stuff like that, you just gotta stick with it and help him out a little bit. Because at the end of the day, he's a dog. He doesn't know what I want from him. He's completely guessing, so he's freestyling a little bit right now to make sure that it is only the plate that he is supposed to go on for this specific trick. But all in all, I am so delighted and so happy with this day of training. It was phenomenal. I am so proud of him, and you can really see the difference between day 1 and day 3. It's training day 4, and there was a gap in between day 3 and day 4 because I worked. So I did a little bit, but nothing really worthwhile of recording. So today I did some real finessing, some fine-tuning, that's the word, fine-tuning of his trick. So in this session, I wouldn't give Gunner a treat until he stood on the plate quietly, not digging or scraping on it, because I don't want him to scrape the plate. I want him to stand quietly. Gunner was a little upset by the fact that he wasn't getting a treat immediately, and that confused him. So he kind of went backwards at first, but it's all part of the process. You have to take a step forward and then step backward to make the trick as fine-tuned as possible. I don't think I ever explicitly said how this will help after he learns that the plate is where his place is. Basically, what you can do is tape the plate or attach the plate to dog beds or wherever you want your dog to go, and just, yeah, it'll look weird because there'll be plates taped on like multiple things, but then you can say Gunner place, and he'll go to his bed, or he'll go to his kennel, or wherever you want your dog to go, and then from there, they'll learn that the place isn't the plate, it's the bed or the kennel, and eventually you can take the plate off and they'll still go to their bed. So the plate is kind of like a catalyst to the next thing. Anyways, so this may be the last fast forward training session before I do like a live sort of thing where I'm training in real time and I'm not talking to you after I record the whole thing and have it fast forward. But we will see. But regardless, he has definitely learned this much faster than I had anticipated. I thought it would take at least 7 days before he really got the hang of this trick, but no, this is day 4 and he really knows what's going on. So never listen to people who say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Gunner is 7.5 and is such a quick learner, which is sometimes good, but also sometimes bad if it's something bad. But this is at 2 times speed because I really want you to see how Gunner is consciously going to the plate now, and it doesn't take him too long to recognize that he needs to go to the plate. That's the reason why there was a big cut in the middle, because it was basically just repetition and repeating, and you know, he gets it. So I didn't think you needed like 10 minutes of this session, but yeah.
Hi everyone, today is day 5 of training Gunner the place command. So today will be in real time because I think he has learned it well enough where I can show you it in real time, and then from there it's just repetition and he'll get faster and better at it. But he understands it right now, so showing you more progress would just kind of waste your time. Obviously he's not perfect, but he knows it. So with that being said, I will show you it.
Place. Go place. Good boy. Gunner, go place. Go place. 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 No. Good place. Gunner, place. 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 No, place. Good boy. And that is basically it. Obviously, you can tell he does a little bit of the scraping and it still takes him a while, but he understands the trick, he understands what I'm asking for, and you can see him actively thinking it through and going, oh, I need to go to the plate. So with that being said, that is the end of today's video. If you have any more questions on how I taught him this trick, or if you have any other tricks you want to learn how to teach, let me know in the comments down below, and I will help you out as best as I can. And with that being said, thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night. Shake. Bye.